Welcome, everybody. Great to have you with us for another edition of Dynasty, a podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. I'm Chris Stewart with national champions A.J. McCarron, Trent Richardson. Coming up on today's show, we evaluate Bama's transfer class. Now that the portal is closed, we're going to react to the national championship game, what we learned from the CFP. Also going to talk some Bama basketball as the Tide is into the thick of SEC play. And the United Football League draft with Birmingham Stallions head coach, our very own A.J. McCarron. Do want to remind you that dynastybama.com is our hub where you can find us on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and also be sure to rate, review, and share at the Dynasty Bama. Coach McCarron, Coach Richardson as well. Gentlemen, always good to see you both. Let's talk about what's happened since we last visited. We've got 15 incoming transfers to the Crimson Tide. At the end of last week, Alabama added D lineman Terrence Green from Oregon, number 4 transfer D lineman in the country for the Ducks in 2025. He had the third most snaps, I should say, for them with 269. He had 15 stops at TFL. I got no chance of pronouncing this right. I will by the time we kick off, though. The Edge, Desmond, we're going to call him, from South Carolina. He spent 3 years as a reserve with the Gamecocks, his largest role coming last year with 19 tackles and a sack. Couple of O-linemen, Nick Brooks from Texas, Ethan Fields from Ole Miss. What do you think first and foremost about what's coming in for the Crimson Tide? Trent, let's start it with you. Your initial thoughts on what we're seeing from Bama bringing in the portal.
Well, first thing first, man, I look at, what we have had problems in. And so to bring in these linemen, offensive linemen, I think we need to, see what these guys bring in the spring and just keep working, man. I like Nick Brooks. I like Nick Brooks. He's had some starts and played at Texas for a while. Um, even Ethan Fields, played at Ole Miss. You know what Ole Miss has brought to the table the last few years. And he's got a winner mentality. Some of these kids, I don't see how some of these kids got in the portal. And we lucked up and got some of these kids. But it's crazy when you look at the transfer portal, man, because these kids are coming in. They got to buy into the program, and we got to make sure we feel that these kids feel comfortable. So I think we did good by, the names that you just named and, the 15 guys that we are bringing in. And I know we had like 21 outgoing. So, man, I don't know how it's going to be because I've never been a part of the transfer portal in my time in college. I know it's a new thing.
Yeah.
And so, man, I can't wait to see what these kids bring in the spring. And I know spring is coming right up. So that's going to be the outcome of.
AJ, it's so different. I mean, I think about it, and you guys were always freshmen developing, but we're going to bring in one, maybe two, Terrence Cody, a JUCO guy that could step in and play for you immediately. A couple of guys like that, but it was almost like one a year, and you knew who it was going to be. Now it's a whole new look, man. It's such a major part of what the recruiting aspect looks like now.
Yeah. College football is a shit show. And I have a serious issue with just the where we're at in college football, the standard the NCAA setting for all of college football, all of these kids. It's just such a bad look. I seriously have a really big issue with this whole thing. But not to be a Debbie Downer the whole time. I mean, I do like the fact that you're getting some edge guys. I still have a concern, and it's nothing against Nick Brooks. It's nothing against Ethan Fields. These aren't guys that have started a ton of games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, Nick Brooks has started 3 games for Texas. Ethan Fields played sparingly for Ole Miss. This is not like we're going out to get like a major left tackle for somebody. Like, I think we need to figure that out.
Well,
I mean,
another
I know
thing
I
too,
can't be
if
the
they,
only one. And
if they in the transfer
I
portal,
huh?
like I'm with you. And I'm trying not to be the Debbie Downer either. But if they in the transfer portal, like I ain't saying these kids can't play. Everybody don't have the Jalen Hurts story. Everybody don't have the Carson Beck story. I mean, no, not Carson Beck. What's the kid name from
Yeah,
went to Georgia with the Miami?
yeah.
Everybody don't have
Carson
that
Beck.
story.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Listen, you
like
kept
AJ
key
said,
pieces, but I'm with Trent. There's an issue. It was just about 2 weeks ago. 33% of all college football players were in the portal. 33%. It's probably higher now. It was like 11,000 kids. And we talk about this portal like it's nothing but star players. It's not. You have a handful of star players that go through this thing. Okay. It doesn't mean you can't find diamonds in the rough but it goes back to this. And Coach Saban made a point on it this week. And I know we're going to get to it, but you just watched a team with 0 4-stars and 0 5-stars play as a team and win a national championship to a team that has multiple 5-stars, multiple 4-stars, and that team that has none beat all these teams before that to get to that point that had nothing but 4 and 5 stars. Like, there's a serious issue with the ranking system. And Coach Saban talked about it on Pat McAfee's show this weekend. We need to look and really pay attention as a fan base. Instead of falling in love with just the star mentality part, is figure out who the hell are grading these players. I'm dead serious.
I'm gonna
Because
give you an
Coach
example.
Saban said it. He said they don't know their ass from their hand in the sand. The people that are grading these players, and it's not knocking these players, but there ain't that many 5-stars and 4-stars, and now you got 5 superstars or 5, whatever the next category is. I'm like, it's ridiculous, guys.
Here's what I'd bet. Here's what I'd bet on this, and I've never asked them flat out, or if I have, it's been years ago. But they get that ranking based on who's recruiting them, or what assistants that are feeding these guys that do the recruiting services are telling them behind the scenes, hey, man, just want to let you know. And I'm going to tell you what, this dude's a 5-star. And you get enough people that tell you that.
And it's more than that, Chris. Listen, I don't know if Trent has any stories. I've heard of parents paying these recruiting services money to get their kids' star rating up.
I absolutely can believe that.
Man, listen, I got an example. My nephew, I had a nephew stand with me, and I took the kid in and trying to make sure the kid, was on the right track, blood and all this other stuff, right? And so he went on and got in contact with some recruiting
service.
Yeah, some recruiting service. It wasn't scouts, it wasn't route. Well, nothing I've never heard of. And they was talking about, all colleges that they can do, or where they can bring them and all this other. I'm like, what? The kid haven't even touched the field. He's in the 9th grade. He's never played a varsity game. Like, what are we talking about? Like, hey, man, get off my phone. Are you going to tell somebody that went through the process? Andrew Bone came to my game, and I asked him, I said, what is it going to take for me to be a 5-star? Have a great game tonight. I went for 419, set out the 4th quarter, scored 6 touchdowns. And I looked at him and said, did I get my 5-star? I think you earned it tonight. I had to go earn it. Yeah. It wasn't no, hey, I got to give them some money, or hey
Right.
man, I got these little short clips, this and that, and they getting played on the opposite side, and so it looked good, this and that, it's mirroring each other. No, I had to go out there and put that work in. And so it wasn't just only him out there. It was a lot more out there seeing the same thing. But I'm with AJ. It is, and Coach Saban, like these people that's crediting these folks is crazy, because you're killing these kids when it comes to the expectation that these kids gotta have. And so even when it comes to the running back that Bama just got, man, I like the kid. But don't put all that on that kid. Like they talking about this kid coming in as a starter. And like I said last week, if y'all let this kid start and not earn it, y'all are going to do him a disservice.
Right.
Now, if he come in and earn it, I'm all for it. But if you just put him there because you don't want him to transfer out because you done promised him all this other stuff, you're gonna hurt that kid more than anything. Not saying Bama's doing that. I'm just giving you an example.
Right.
But to go back to the original thing is, listen, we got to find some O linemen. Like if you're, and listen, I understand, Greg Byrne, everybody involved. I understand we're in a tricky time, right? But when I look at our team, and I'm like, okay, just me as a coach and my thought process, we have enough playmakers all over the field. I need, if there's money I'm going to spend in this portal and go to and, stand on top of the table and shout to the mountaintops that, hey, we need money for this. I'm going as hard as possible for the best O lineman. Everybody else is tampering. We've already talked about it. There is no rules against you. Like the NCAA isn't cracking down on anybody. I'm going to push the limits on every category because nobody's getting in trouble for anything, guys. I mean, have we seen any college get in trouble for tampering so far?
Nope.
Closest thing to stopping tampering I've seen was Kayla DeBoer telling an assistant coach from another team to go on at the talking to Keelan Russell on the field after the game.
That was what, South Carolina, maybe?
I think so.
Yeah, South Carolina.
And so if nobody's getting in trouble, okay, and we can, it's the Wild Wild West and we can do whatever we want, then what the hell are we doing? Like, and I'm not dogging our coaching staff, but we need to be going after the best O-line and D-line possible, because if we can fix that, we have the roster, we have the athletes, we have the playmakers to go make plays and be successful as a team. But that's one area. If anybody, all three of us have been around our producer, Steve, as well. We've all watched enough ball and understand this is our job, right? Like, we know what is needed to be fixed for this Alabama team. So we need to do whatever we can to go get those two core pieces, because again, it's not knocking Nick Brooks. It's not knocking Ethan Fields. It's not knocking those guys. They might be end up being hell of a players for us. But they haven't really played and they haven't started. We need to go get some experience. And I don't know, just makes it tough.
Here's I don't disagree with the words you said. My only comeback would be that was a pretty experienced group, minus one or two last year. And we weren't exactly a bunch of bulldozers, especially when it came to the run game. So
you're speaking my language.
I will.
Hey, Chris is setting us up.
I will simply say, how much does it right now in the way the game is now? Is it talent or is it experience? And I know talented experience wins the most. But what is it right now
Where is it
that
coaching?
matters? Well, it can be that absolutely. Absolutely, that's part of it. So that's my question to you. These are guys clearly that could play, or they're not offered at Texas. They're not signed by Ole Miss. We know potential's there. We know talent's there. Are you getting bodies, or are you getting better? And I guess that's what we won't know till about 225 plus days from now.
Well, then the next question is like, are the coaches talking to each other? Like, hey, what can this kid do? Why is this kid in the transfer portal? Like, can he play? Did the system not fit him, or what's his knock? What it and it's always going to be that type of conversation. It should be, if
Right.
you're talking about paying a guy and going to get a guy who's never really played. That's tough to do, man, and trusting him with your job, with your livelihood, that's tough to do. So I don't know how they did with this stuff here, man, because it's. I mean, we pulled James Carpenter from a JUCO, and James turned out to be pretty good. But coach got to see him start, got to see a lot of film on him, and it was different times. You know what I'm saying? So DeQuan Menzie was a good one. Who else we had come in? Terrence Cody was probably the most impactful transfer from a JUCO that we had, in the history of Alabama.
Jesse Williams.
Jesse. Well, Jesse was just from Australia. I don't think he was
he played JUCO.
Yeah, he played JUCO.
Oh,
he
was
was playing JUCO in either Arizona or California, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just thought he came from Australia. He was a big Samoan.
We didn't bring him in on a kangaroo pouch.
I thought he was off the boat.
He was somewhere else too. Hey, let's move on and talk about one other piece of this. Guys that can play, and you find out they're coming back. That's big in this day and age. We know you guys, I think, had it. You sat on the stage. Again, we're talking about the good old days now. You knew who was coming back. Guys weren't transferring. If they could play, they were going to stay at Bama. They were going to wait their turn and do their job until they got their opportunity. And if you did it great, you guys might sit there on a stage as juniors with Coach Saban and either announce you're going pro or coming back. There's only a few of you that did that, Trent. But now, heck, there's a different post every day, or there was, for what guys are going to do. And thankfully, among those that Yay Alabama and Alabama football on Instagram sent out, Bray Hubbard, Keon Sabb, Yanze Pierre. They're all back. That's a big deal, that trio right there. And I know there's more. But, like Red Morgan, Zabian Brown, Dejon Lee. There's some really good pieces to start with. And I think maybe that's the biggest thing, is that nobody's going to have everything. Who's got the most pieces and can make the puzzle fit?
100%. Yeah, we're in a day and age of retaining rosters. And in the past, you didn't have to worry about retaining rosters. I mean, you maybe had one or two, maybe three at most transfers a year. And then, during our time, hell, you knew that they weren't going to be able to transfer to an SEC school because Saban didn't allow it.
Yeah.
It's not
so you
going
didn't
to
have
happen.
it just wasn't going to happen. So they had to go somewhere else first, and then they could transfer. But listen, they do have some key pieces coming back in the secondary. It's why, and Yanze Pierre, the fact that he's coming back is great. I thought he came on the scene, big time this year. But I love, it's kind of goes back to my last statement of you got key pieces, you got playmakers, you got guys in the secondary, you got playmakers at the receiver position coming back. You got running backs coming back. You got 2 quarterbacks that you're high on. Like you have everything else. When I still look at this roster, I still think about you probably got to add a key piece at linebacker because you're losing a key piece that's been a multi-year starter there. But you got to replace this upfront deal. I mean, Tim Keenan's gone. You had 3 or 4 O linemen go.
All the
Hell,
linemen
maybe
gone except for one.
huh?
All the O linemen gone except for one.
But even the backups,
Yeah.
you've had backups off the O line go. So, you win games in the SEC and national championships based on your guys up front and what kind of dogs they are. Okay, so
Need some dogs. Don't need a bunch of cats.
Cats, yeah.
Meow.
Great Coastal Carolina head coach. And I mean, but you got to have some guys up front that can set the tone in games. I mean, when you think of every national championship team, it's been teams that have had dudes up front that can set the tone. Back to our day, you look at this Indiana team that just played. I mean, they were tough. Like, they had trouble in the championship game, but they were tough all year long. And Indiana could run the ball all year long for the most part. So, and then they could stop the run as well. And I mean, that's what hurt Miami more than anything, is because they couldn't get anything going for the longest time. I mean, then they hit a couple runs, which Mark Fletcher's going to do. He's an unbelievable back. But I just, that's the one thing that worries me about this team. I'm happy that Hubbard, Sabb, Xavier Brown, Lee, all great players. I'm glad key pieces for that secondary, for that defense. But they weren't the problem during the season. I mean, there wasn't a ton of teams just throwing the ball all over the place on us and killing us that way. It was teams running the football and then us not getting pressure on the quarterback, for the most part. And then it's the same way on the O-line. It was us not being able to run the ball ever unless we were playing Eastern Illinois. And then it hurt everything else, because when you're in just drop back mode on offense and you allow defenders, defensive ends in the SEC to just pin their ears back and go, that's what makes them make money. So.
All right. When we come back, we're going to flip our attention to the national championship game. Indiana kept on doing, for the most part, what they had been doing in the playoffs and throughout the regular season. A historic 16-0 run for a guy you guys know well, and Curt Cignetti. We'll talk about Indiana, and we will flip to some other things going on in college sports. Stay with us right here on the Dynasty Podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. College football not feeling as juicy as it once did? Well, let me put you on to something that'll shake up your Saturday and every other day of the week. Because now that Wendy's has crispy chicken tendies and a powerhouse lineup of new sauces, it's time you transferred to the hottest team in the league.
That's right. Team Tendies. Wendy's Tendies. They're making an undeniable rookie season, one for the books.
Enjoy first-string flavor from some 5-star recruits. Rep your new favorite team everywhere you go, but make sure to cheer with your mouth closed. Take it to the end zone of savory sauces like honey barbecue, creamy ranch, and the new Wendy's signature sauce to experience a total taste bud blitz of flavor. It's time to join a team that won't upset you with an upset. Taste the phenom that's gracing the gridiron with its juicy, crispy, and tendery tendencies.
Don't fumble the bag. commit to Team Tendies and call the most delicious plays in the playbook. All right, huddle up. Tendies on three. Tendies on three. 1, 2, 3.
Tendies.
Let's do this.
Wendy's Chicken Tendies, now at participating U.S. Wendy's. We are back on The Dynasty, a podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. New episodes dropping each week. YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, you can find us. Our website, thedynastybama.com, will tell you more. And also, as you're going across social media, we ask that you rate, review, and share at The Dynasty Bama. Man, we're looking forward to the last segment, but we got to get into some stuff on this one right here. Talking about the 2025 season, wrapping up with the national championship game on Monday night, AJ. Miami played Indiana. It looked like a national championship game should look. It was tight. It kept you on the edge of your seat. But Indiana ultimately does run the table, a phenomenal 16-0 season to win the Natty. The record indicates dominance. They didn't in every ball game, but man, when they were, they dominated, as unfortunately we saw in Pasadena. But that was a great game on Monday night.
Yeah, it was. I tell you, it's the first time I had seen Indiana's offense really struggle in a while, probably since Penn State game, to get some things going. And but I mean, just the will, the grit, determination by Sig's team is, I mean, something that's unmatched all year long. And I thought Mario Cristobal did a great job. I mean, hell, they had a chance at the end. It's a bad read by Carson Beck.
Mm-hmm.
He thought they were probably going to one high, didn't pre-snap, post-snap, confirm with his eyes. I think they went all go concept. He never saw him run out to cover 2. Hell, it could have been 8. I didn't really pay attention to the boundary safety, but I know they were in too high.
Didn't either.
And then the field safety, I just saw him dead sprint.
Yeah.
And you didn't have any flat control out to the left, so the corner has nothing to pull him down. He threw a cover 2 ball way too late, way too far downfield. A cover 2 hole shot's got to be out and up, so only your guy gets it. He threw it like it was a normal go route. I mean, I had some people come up and ask me, hey, is that too early to take a shot? No, not really. But the quarterback's got to be smart about it. So great play by the corner, number 22. Can't remember his name. And
they know it in Bloomington.
Yeah. He'll be a legend there. But I thought the will and determination from Fernando Mendoza was just special. I'll tell you what, another thing, if our fans haven't seen it, I think it's on the Players Tribune deal.
Yeah.
The message from his mother, who's battling MS. She typed out a message to him, and they had a video with it. You want to go cry like a baby? Go watch that. Something is unbelievable, truly inspiring, touches your heart, especially if you got kids. But the kid they've raised, he seems like an unbelievable young man. He's always giving praise to the good Lord above, and I thought it was just unbelievable game by him. That QB draw on 4th and 5 was, and how he takes the hit from the linebacker, spins, keeps his balance, and then dives in. Like, that's They'll make a movie about this season for him. Sig was right. Be a hell of a movie. It will. It'll be awesome to see. And I thought it was just such a special year. Happy for all the Indiana fans. I also saw another clip where these fans bought season tickets in 1959, and it was a married couple. And can you imagine sitting through that long of a drought as Indiana football fans, season ticket holders? And then, I mean, they were both like 80s, 90s, and they're at the game and got interviewed. And to see that, I mean, that's what makes college sports so fun, so special. Sports in general, but
Yeah.
unbelievable year by them.
And they're so much older, Trent, but they did look like a college team.
Yeah,
I mean they played it like we think of college teams playing, and that's not a shot at Miami or anybody else, but that's what they look like to me. Their linemen, they look like one guy. It was the same guy. I kept looking. The one guy, same guy. It's just uniform across the board. But what they could do was pretty special, but it definitely looked old school with old guys out there doing it.
man, I've been saying this all year. And you see up front is where the game is going to be played at. You can tell by how the game is going to go within the first couple series, really first few snaps for real for me. But when you seen the run game come alive for them in meaningful runs, they didn't have a 100-yard rusher, but they had two guys, right? They had two guys that rushed probably around about 160 or something like that, or something close to it. But every run that they had was impactful, and that came from up front. Because you catch Miami, I mean, with the D-line that they got, if you can push them back some, or you can catch them, when they're struggling or when they're out of breath, and you can come right back and punch them right there in the mouth, like, that's what it's all about. And then even with Miami, that doggone Mark Fletcher, man, tell you, that kid is special, man. That kid is special. If they didn't stop running the ball in the beginning, I think this is a different story. Like, what kept them in the game was them being able to dominate in the run game, right? And so, but it kind of left them one-handed because, like, hey, y'all gonna have to beat us in the run. Y'all ain't gonna beat us with the pass, right? And so y'all gonna take a lot of time off the clock. And so when you got a balanced team like how Indiana was doing it, I mean, they tight end, man. When he was dragging folks on the doggone sideline, down the field, man, they look, and I hate to do this, and I say this all the time, but bro, they look like us in 2009. They look just like our team in 2009. Like, they was able to use the tight ends. They was able to use their receivers. What's the kid? Charlie Becker. A dog.
Yeah. He ain't dropped one yet.
A dog.
They ain't thought about dropping one.
A dog. And I'm talking about, listen, whenever he go in the draft, whoever he going for, man, listen, man, that's going to be a steal.
And throw your stopwatch away. Just throw it somewhere close to it.
Man, listen.
I'm not saying he can't run. I'm saying it don't matter.
It doesn't matter. I mean, that kid was catching back shoulder. I'm talking about, man, passes.
Shoe top, back shoulder.
Man, I listen, that game within itself probably is one of the best championship games, one of them that I've seen since I've been around. But like AJ said, man, that quarterback over there, man, his mentality, and the will to win. If you're on social media, you look at the clip of him getting hit the year before when he was a Cal by the same guy he ran over in the national championship game, the linebacker. And I'm like, he bust him up when they played against Cal. But when he was in Indiana and he exploded through that line, I'm talking about stretched out, he put his body on the line. Like, that's the type of guys that you want in that type of moment. Greg did it. AJ did it. Vince Young did it. You got guys like that just make memories forever. Listen, this movie they're gonna bring out, man. I hope they hurry up and do it because I want to see it. I want to see the development of the whole, Curt at JMU, how he got the guys to come over, the situation with his dad. I want to see all of it. It's going to be special, man. So, man, hats off to Indiana, man. They did everything they supposed to have done. And they won it on what? Special teams, too. Blocked the punt. Had some good return yards. And they was more disciplined. They didn't have as many penalties as Miami. So, stuff that we talk about all the time around here that we've been a part of, and it's working.
Sucked to not watch our team play, but it was an entertaining game for the national title, and cool to see two former Alabama assistants, their programs go at it, and congratulations to both, but especially to Coach Cignetti doing the impossible, winning a national title at Indiana. Intentionally short segment because, we need some time on the final run. Roster addition. Just since we went on the air or started recording, I should say, our podcast today, Alabama basketball with a veteran pickup. I don't think he's old enough yet to play football for Indiana, but he can still come back and play for the Tide. Charles Bediako. Remember him? Old Timers Day coming up this weekend in Tuscaloosa. We'll explain on the Dynasty podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Welcome back, everybody, to our final segment this week on The Dynasty. It's a podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Do remind you that new episodes drop every week. You can find us at thedynastybama.com. And also, please rate, review, and share across social media. The handle is at TheDynastyBama. Gentlemen, we are going to talk about Coach A.J. McCarron's perspective on the UFL draft, which just took place. But we're going to talk basketball first. And we had fully intended on spending the time talking hoops, talking about Alabama's 2 road wins in the past week. Good ones. Had to have them. After falling to 1-2 in the SEC, Bama got wins at Starkville against Mississippi State and in Norman against the Oklahoma Sooners. Big wins, both of them, just to get back in the win column. In Tennessee coming to town on Saturday. But we have had that conversation hijacked by the fact that there was some good news in the courtroom for Charles Bediako. For those of you that remember him, he was a pretty good one for the Crimson Tide. 7-footer who hadn't played, I guess it's 3 years, 2+ since he played. But according to a story from Nick Kelly and AL.com, and AJ, I know you've only heard bits and pieces. We're going to share some of this. I'm just going to read it straight. Charles Bediako can play for Alabama men's basketball again for now. The former center has been granted a temporary restraining order giving him immediate eligibility to participate in all Alabama men's basketball activities and games. That means cookouts as well as ball games, apparently. Bediako hasn't played for Alabama since 2023. The order, not surprisingly, comes from Tuscaloosa County Circuit Court Judge James H. Roberts. It'll remain in effect by law for 10 days or until a hearing can take place. A hearing on the preliminary injunction is currently set for January 27th. It's called a temporary restraining order because the NCAA, quote, restrained from applying or enforcing its bylaws or any other rules or regulations in such a manner as to deny Mr. Bediako's eligibility to compete in Division I athletics for the University of Alabama's basketball program. Stephen, if you can scroll that down for me just a little bit. I want to check it out again in a minute. First of all, initial reaction. Either one of you want to go first. I just want your first reaction when you hear this.
Damn this! I'm putting my name in the transfer portal. I'm coming back.
You're coming back?
With my helmet. I'm coming back.
Wear your helmet? dust that. I think we just solved our problems in the run game for next year, AJ. At least for a snap
Let's
or
call
two.
DJ and
I'll tell
Chance Womack. Let's
Let's run it back.
let's call Rogue.
Let's run
I
it
mean,
back.
I still got a year left.
I'll tell you the NCAA's reaction is y'all both are trying to
Well,
grasp
maybe LeBron
this.
might come and play college football, basketball.
He or football. Pretty good athlete. You know, he never played. So the quote from the NCAA: the NCAA is aware of media reports about a lawsuit filed against the NCAA by Charles Bediako. By the way, I do want to say this was issued yesterday by the NCAA. Nothing that I've seen since then. Mr. Bediako signed 3 NBA contracts after competing in college for 2 seasons. The NCAA has not and will not grant eligibility to any prospective or returning student athletes who have signed an NBA contract. Eligibility rules ensure high school students get a shot at earning scholarships, and we will continue to consistently apply and defend these rules. End of quote. Here's the problem. They ain't consistently
I was just about to say, what?
applying the rules. It's the NCAA, which I've always said.
That's the issue.
NCAA, which stands for no clue at all. Okay. Or no consistency at all in this case. I'm not saying this is good, bad, hallelujah, it happened from an Alabama perspective. You dang right, I'm saying hallelujah. We got a 7-foot-plus guy who was our starting center 3 years ago when we were number 1 in the country and got to the Sweet 16. Pretty good backup available behind Aiden Sherrill, who's one of the top big men in the country right now. So we got a whole lot better there, at least Saturday against Tennessee. And my question is Rick Barnes pulling out VHS tape on Charles Bediako to review what he looked like when he was playing for the Crimson Tide? Anybody got who's got a VHS player around here? So they're popping that in to check it out. But yeah, it's great for this weekend. But as a whole, your thoughts, gentlemen?
It's a laughing stock, and they wonder why everybody is sitting here just laughing at the NCAA. It's because you have allowed this shit show to go on. You've allowed this shit show to happen, to even start.
Yep.
Because you don't know how to implement the correct rules and then enforce those rules. And then by having such a shit show, you allow circuit judges in local areas of these schools to figure out whatever rules they want to set. It's the same thing for Trinidad Chambliss. That court case is going on in Oxford. How do you think the ruling's going to go for them? He's going to get that extra year because the court ruling's in Oxford. So it doesn't matter what the NCAA says. The NCAA has lost damn near every lawsuit that's went against them because they allowed this NIL shit show to happen.
Yep.
So if you allowed it and you put it in everybody else's hands except yours, when you had control and you fell to the minority group of the ones outside picketing and rioting to get NIL, okay, you failed as leaders to a small group. And then you tried to, please everybody out there. And you've allowed this chaos to happen. Instead of, you could have went back in the day when we got our scholarship checks, Trent, and it was like $1,600 or $2,600, whatever it was. They could have said, hey, NCAA is making enough money here. You know what we're going to do to just please everybody and keep everybody quiet? We'll just double. how about we just triple your scholarship check? Now you're not worrying about what food you're going to eat. And then to give you NIL, we'll just make it strictly NIL, where it's name, image, likeness. Okay? You want jersey sales? Boom. Just like the NFL, you get a percentage of jersey sales. We have everybody signs a contract. All right. Every jersey sale that's at the campus corner store of yours, you get 50% of that margin. They're going to bump up the margins for the jersey. Instead of the jersey being $80, now the jersey is going to be $150. So the company selling it can make, or creating the jersey can make their money as well. Okay, so that's what they do. That's how you solve it. Hey, if you want to go out and do actual commercials, Mercedes comes to you, Mercedes of Tuscaloosa or Mercedes of Mobile or Ford or whoever, and you want to do a commercial for them, you can get paid because that's your name, image, and likeness. That's based on you, right? Because you've made it. This has opened a can of worms that, guys, they can't find the worms anymore. They can't even try to contain a worm and put them back in the can. Like it's all out. So this is the shit show they have allowed. You got a guy for Baylor that's starting, that was in the draft. Now you got this dude, and great for us. It still doesn't make it right. We're not saying, I don't think any of us is saying it's great, because it's not. It's a bad look for all of college sports, but it's all on the NCAA. You've allowed it. You've created this mess. So guess what? I'm a firm believer, and we talked about it, and I'll just go ahead and put it out there. I'm a firm believer in the NCAA is in the business of letting this entire thing burn to the ground so they can get an offer from a private equity firm, take that offer, which I know for a fact because of the previous field that I was going to join, and met a bunch of people in that political world, that there is multiple groups coming together to take an offer to the NCAA to purchase things, the rights for certain sports. And I truly think the NCAA knows that. They see that happening, and they're saying, hey, we'll just let this thing go, and it'll be so much of a shit show to where we'll just get bought out. All of us are taken care of. We're good. And then it's on them. And they don't care. And that's what I truly believe.
Mm. Trent?
I mean, AJ said it best.
Have fun.
He said it best, though, man. Like, as you look at it, and to me, the NIL could have been better if they had it structured. Like, I mean, because even now, we talk about the transfer portal, but a lot of these folks are signing 1-year deals. And so with 1-year deals, it comes to free agency when the season is over with. So, well, maybe if I didn't like, how I was treated, or, or maybe, I feel like y'all got over me. Okay, now I'm finna tax you. Or if you don't want that, then okay, well, now I'm finna get in the transfer portal. And so to me, like, it's a bad look when it comes to, how can we get back to, or how can we set this up now? No, you got to have a college PA now. Like how they got an NFL PA. You're going to have to have some type of, all these players got to come together or have somebody leading this thing. And I'm not talking about the commissioner. I'm talking about somebody's going to be on the player side too. And I don't know how you fix it. Like, because as a player right now, I'm not going back to nothing until I get me. And that's just the seriousness of it. Like, looking at it on the other side. But for the NCAA, I think it's going to happen like AJ said it's going to happen. Or it's going to be so much of a shit show to where it's like somebody's going to need to be like, NCAA, y'all need to crack down on this. We need y'all.
Yeah. It's crazy. Look, there's some big stuff with Bama basketball besides this. Amari Allen, freshman of the week last week for what he did with with the Crimson Tide in a couple of wins. Great player, going to probably be on the fringe of a lottery pick this year if he doesn't make it, but a first rounder. Great player, and LeBaron Philon just continues to be outstanding and one of the best guards in all of college basketball. I think and Amari both could go in the top 20 of the NBA draft, depending on what happens in the course of the next month or two. But that'll be interesting to watch in a big game with Tennessee, and especially big to see who they've got available as their backup big man as they take on the Volunteers. Let's flip it in the final moment or two that we've got, though. Something we're calling Coach's Corner. It's AJ's perspective on the UFL draft. For those of you that may be unaware, AJ, the new head coach of the Birmingham Stallions, announced less than a month ago, I guess, that he is the head coach of the UFL franchise in Birmingham. You got your full roster? Is that right? Am I understanding everything? You got the full roster taken care of now?
No.
I know you always add pieces, but
yeah,
in theory,
we're steady. That's why I look tired.
Yeah, because your butt's getting old. That's why you look tired.
Because I have to stay up late and watch more guys. And listen, it's been an awesome experience. We drafted probably 58 out of 64, maybe 60 out of 64, but it's tough. We've had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've had about 6 guys, 4 retired after the draft.
I'm good.
1 cut and 1 that's injured is not going to be cleared. So you try to do as much homework as possible. You try to find numbers. The numbers we have for a lot of guys don't work. It's the wrong numbers for them, the wrong numbers for their agent. It's a lot of behind the scenes work that goes into it, and then having to find guys on PFF, having to find guys on Thundercloud that don't have NFL film. It's a lot of work, but it's something I love. I've enjoyed every minute of it. It's definitely tough, but we got a lot of key pieces. I'll tell you what, our receiver room is loaded.
Tell us about some names. Give us just a handful of names.
Deion Kane, who's been a big part of Birmingham Stallions for the last couple years now, has bounced in and out of the NFL. Picked up some big receivers on free agent day on day 2 of the draft. Justin Ross, who a lot of Alabama fans know from Clemson, gave Alabama nightmares in that national championship game. Was a high draft pick for the Chiefs, got injured, and then so he's on his way back. So we picked him up. Laviska Shenault Jr. was a high draft pick for the Jags.
Run it by me again.
Laviska Shenault Jr. He was a big pickup for us. He played at Colorado, but I mean, even our running backs, Tyrion Davis Price played at LSU. Got him. Nate Noel, he's more of a scat back. Got him. Snoop Connor played at Ole Miss. We just signed him. Who the hell's our last running back? I got so many names. It's hard to remember everybody. But
Trent, he's got a Snoop.
I got Tyrion, Nate.
Go back to the
Anthony McFarland. I don't know how the hell I forget him. Anthony was he's been
Booger?
all UFL the last couple
Booger?
Years. Huh?
Oh, no, not Booger McFarland.
No. Anthony. And so we got a lot of guys. A lot of guys I'm super excited about. Spend a lot of time on our O-line, D-line, and signing more each and every day. So we're having to make some cuts, make some room, but we got some guys from the SEC that people know, and I'm excited. it's it's a work in progress, but it's been a lot of fun.
AJ, give me this. On both sides of the ball, what is, I want to say the most important piece, but what is something that you got to have?
Yeah, I mean, we got to have. For me, building this thing was our O-line and D-line. Our defense coordinator is Kevin Shear, who was with us at Alabama during our time, and then from 2010 to 12, and then was at Georgia with Kirby, then went to Tennessee with Pruitt, then went to the Giants with Joe Judge. So he's our D coordinator, got a ton of experience on the defensive side. But for me, it was O-line and D-line. I've played the 2 years I've played in this league. The teams that are the most successful, everybody has playmakers, but if you can establish up front on both sides of the ball, you can win, because it's such a hard deal to find really good O-linemen and really good D-linemen, just because of the day and age we're in football, where everything has gone to 7-on-7. And every big man out there now thinks they're a tight end or a receiver or what. Nobody wants to play O-line. So, I mean, even you look at college, the transfer portal, it's hard to find O-linemen. Yeah. I mean, I understand that. And it goes back to the point earlier where you're almost having to find and pick from backups for teams, really and truly. But that was the biggest thing for me. Even with our regional locks that we got to keep, we kept Mason Brooks. It was a tackle, played at Ole Miss, started for the DC Defenders last couple of years. Desmond Little, who was a edge rusher, DN for UAB. So we kept a local guy there. He's young, but has a ton of talent, can be a really good player for us. And then Kobe Jones, played at Mississippi State, was another DN, really good at his time at Mississippi State, and has been a really good player in the UFL for the last couple of years as well. So that was our 3 regional locks. And then, so that right there kind of was setting our footing for our team of like, hey, this is how we're going to build our team from the inside out. And I thought we did a really good job of that. I thought our draft, we won the draft. That's the first obstacle and goal is, hey, you got to go out and win the draft. And then after that, you got to get them on the field, and then get them in the classroom and start learning the offense and defense and the calls and everything. And then you got to go out and perform. So we've done the first part successfully. We got to keep going now.
It's awesome to hear. It's going to be fun to follow your journey on all of that. We're going to keep up with it in and around what we're doing. Talking about the Tide, both on the hardwood in the courtroom and also on the playing field as well. Coming up in a couple of weeks, guys. Just got it secured. I think we're going to have Mark Godfrey joining us on our next show, which will be in a couple of weeks. The former Alabama player and coach agreed to come on with us. He'd love to talk about all of this. He's already wanting to run it back, not with himself playing, but with some guys that he had that went into the draft early. If he could have gotten them back, what might have been for a couple of his Crimson Tide teams. But anyway, we're done for today. For AJ, for Trent, for our producer, the best around, Steve Gorgie, I'm Chris Stewart. Thanks for joining us. Roll Tide, everybody.